Today I'm going to show you guys how to make some salmon eggs with a hot glue gun. This is what it'll end up looking like, but it's pretty awesome. You can use different colors of glue, and you can make... This one here is made with just traditional hot glue, not any kind of color or anything, just the natural color with a thread base, and it looks like a transparent with a yolk sac. You can also take and add multiples and build up an egg cluster. And all I'm using is just, you can get it in all different colors, but this is all I'm using, just the mini hot glue sticks. And you can get them, these were $3 a packet for the color, but you can get the transparent ones, the just regular craft ones, for $1. I mean, they're pretty cheap. So anyhow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a size 16 hook. I'm going to put it in the vise, and basically hook size is kind of irrelevant. I mean, you don't want a bunch of hook hanging out there if you don't have room for it. But if you're going to add them and make more clusters or bigger eggs or anything like that, you can go to a bigger size hook. This is just what I'm using for now. And they're pretty easy to do. So what we're going to do is the most important part of this is we're going to take some super glue. Anytime I'm using super glue, you're always going to see me use a gel super glue. Regular super glue is messy. It goes all over the place, get your fingers and everything else, and it does never end up where you want it. Or you can take this gel super glue and it's going to stick to the area. So the first thing we're going to do, whether we're using a transparent material for the fly or not, we want to make sure and have a thread base super glued to the shaft. And the reason we want to do that is super glue will shrink and expand. Hot glue will shrink and expand really, really bad. So you want to make sure that you have a base tied in that you can attach that glue to that won't fall off. And the reason I use a super glue is that keeps the thread base from moving as well, and then we know we don't have an issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to take where we took our thread, and we're going to whip finish that thread base in. Now I have a part that is not going to move. That thing is going to be completely stuck there. We're not going to have any problem with that thread moving back and forth. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just attach the glue to it. So we want to make sure our hot glue gun is clean and don't have a bunch of stragglers, because then you got to clean them off. And we are just going to add a ball, and we want to wrap it around this hook. What we want to do is we want to let that sag down on the one side to where we're building a gap in between the hook to where there's room for the fish to bite. So we want that to sag down on the bottom end of the hook and not on the inside. Now you can see I got a little bit of extra glue in the way there, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. It will trim right off with a pair of scissors in a second. Once we've got that egg to where it's hanging down off the top of the hook, we'll start spinning it. And basically we're just doing like a centrifuge would, and we're spinning it until we can get it pretty round. We want to get it as round as we possibly can for accuracy, to where they look somewhat like a real salmon egg. And once we get it where it's pretty round, take a little cup of water and just dip it in the water. Now if you have a egg pattern like this and you get a little bit more going where it shouldn't have, you just take that and snip it off where the stragglers are, and you're good to go. And that is how easy it is. I mean, it takes just a few minutes, and it's super easy to tie. They aren't buoyant. They do sink down, so it's a great dropper fly. If you want to use like an indicator fly behind it and fish just like 18 inches below, they'll go through the water just fine. Traditional fishermen who are not fly fishermen, they can cast these off their lines just like a salmon egg pattern normally would, and they're pretty effective. I've even given these to some guys who are bait cast fishermen, and they sprayed it down with an attractant and it's attached to it, and they fished with it all day and they like it. So here's an alternative to fishing with real salmon eggs, and here's an alternative pattern to make a salmon egg for fly fishing. So I hope this helps you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.